Hey there, fans of Brotherly Love Wrestling. It is I, Vic Delicious.
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D.X. Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City.
Hey there, Brotherly Love Wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling this, pro wrestling that.
Which is not that unique in the grand scheme of things yet.
You are in for a treat because you're tuned in to Brotherly Love Wrestling.
Philadelphia, are you ready?
No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to Brotherly Love Wrestling. And on the show today, we have Mr. Zack Clayton. Zack, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
So, Zack, to start off, I mean, people might know you, might see you on AEW, made your debut in AEW a few years ago. And, of course, tapings for Ring of Honor and stuff like that. How did AEW come along? How did they see you, discover you, and be able to wrestle for one of the the top wrestling promotions in the world right now?
Yeah, ironically, it was during COVID.
Okay.
Which I'm grateful for in a way, because while everything else shut down, AEW at the time, they were running Daly's Place. I'm sure you're familiar. So they were doing AEW Dark there, and they were taping like 50 or 60 legit matches a night. And that's just to get people working, the talent that they had and the indie talent coming in that they were trying to, get people just to get out there and wrestling, because even the indies were shut down, right?
Yeah.
That the whole world was shut down. And then abiding by COVID restrictions, that was like one of the only places that you could go and you could work. And they would, they were flying me in, and we would stay there for it would be like 4 days, and then we would bang out whatever we could, and then it would be a break, and then it would come back again, and we would just like circle the loop. It was actually a lot of fun because in a way it was very structured, even though it was chaos in the world. It was a very structured environment. Like, you knew where you were going to, you knew what you were doing when you got there. It was a familiar environment that it wasn't a different town all the time. So a lot of people got very comfortable, especially the full-time talent. They were just like, this is awesome, because they know where they're going, they know what they're doing, and then they just fly back. And that lasted, I think, a long time, man. It might have been almost a year, I think, that they did that. So that was kind of my first look with AEW. And then they liked me, and I did some appearances every now and again for about a year and a half after that. And then I signed with them into 22 into 23, I think it was.
Okay.
So, that was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, the talent that you were at least able to be in the ring with. I mean, guys like a Dalton Castle, who's been around for a while with original Ring of Honor, and obviously once Tony took over Ring of Honor. But guys like him, and then you have younger guys on the other end with like a Hook, who, AEW now is running with as a top guy. Like, that experience for you must have been invaluable.
Yeah, my first ever match in AEW, I won't forget, was with QT Marshall, and a good friend of mine. The guy's great. And I still have a lot of friends in AEW that I wish the best for. They're great guys. And my first match was with QT, and it was just so much fun. He doesn't get the credit he deserves, and he probably never will, but he deserves it, and he's earned it. And that was a good start for me there. A start because I went from QT, and then I went right into Colt Cabana, and then I went into some other people, and I had a good start.
Yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, I know at that point when you wrestled Colt, you had the Dark Order kind of running really
Yeah,
hot.
right.
They were huge at that point, and to be in there with Colt, I mean, Colt is another name that has been wrestling forever, and so I mean, the experience like that you can't beat with AEW. I mean, you're going to have the naysayers of AEW and stuff like that, but the more wrestling companies, the more different styles of wrestling, and the more options that wrestlers and performers have, it's better for the business, and obviously keeps everybody working.
Keeps everyone working, keeps things fresh, and I say it like this: when was your favorite time in pro wrestling?
Attitude Era by far.
Okay, so what was going on in the Attitude Era?
The Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, so why did the Attitude Era become what it was? Business picked up when there was competition, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
We saw for a period of time there was no competition, and perhaps the product wasn't as good as it is now. I think that's goes without saying. I mean, business is booming right now. It's almost better than ever. WWE is breaking all kinds of in-house records.
Mm-hmm.
They're even breaking stadium records held by other sports, which is ridiculous. So competition is good, and whether it's AEW, if it's TNA, where I am now, who's by the way crushing it. TNA is doing a great job right now. Competition's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about TNA. I think TNA, when the AEW WWE stuff was going on, like when they did the Wednesday night thing where it was NXT and Dynamite, and then it kind of moved on. I think TNA kind of flew under the radar for a while there. They were in that little flux position. And I think with Scott D'Amore, again, I know a lot of people in wrestling give him credit, and I don't think he gets enough credit for what he did for that company and bringing them out to where he did. And then, of course, not being with them anymore. But I think he laid the groundwork for what TNA is doing now. And it's amazing. I think, unfortunately, a lot of fans, I don't know if they can't pay attention or don't have the mindset, or I mean, to actually watch TNA, but I think a lot miss out on such a good product that TNA is. I know, like, at least where their platform is, I want to say, I hear a lot of fans say like, oh well, it's kind of hard to find and stuff like that. But I mean, if you have the want to watch other wrestling, TNA kills it every time. I've never seen a bad TNA pay-per-view ever. Like, they kill it every single time.
Yeah, and attendance for TNA right now is going up too, which is great. The thing with that is, it's like, if you want to watch it, you'll watch it. So the people that say that, they're just want an excuse to have an excuse, you know. And I know TNA is trying to work out, a deal of some sort. I've heard some things, but as far as Scott, I didn't get to meet him. He was gone right as I was kind of coming in. But I heard great things about him. And I had not worked for TNA until last year. It was my first time ever being there. But I knew some of the guys. Much smaller company than AEW, obviously, or WWE, but which gives more people some opportunity. Because instead of 200 guys in the male locker room, now you have, you might have 50, maybe, and that gives a lot of people opportunity because you're seen and you're known and you're heard. Whereas before, I was in a locker room with so many people, like you can't, not everyone has a voice there, at that time. And it was like, if you tried, 30 other people just said the same thing you just said. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just so much. In TNA, that's not the case. I've had a lot of fun so far there, working with Guido and Ray Jazz. Guido I've known for a handful of years, met him on the indies a while back. Always he's hilarious. If you ever get to have him on or meet him, he's just a hilarious guy. He's the best. He's like everybody's uncle in pro wrestling, but crazy uncle.
Yeah.
But dude, he's the man. And when TNA called to have us come in and do the FBI, first of all, honor because they want to bring this up and revamp this with us, and that's a great thing. That's awesome because the FBI has been around longer than I have, so which is something, and it's an honor to be a part of that. But with Guido especially, right? And they kind of gave us the reins to be, have creative fun, not freedom, but just fun, come up with things and run it by everybody. And it's been a lot of fun. We have some plans coming up that, should be good. So.
Yeah, I mean, I did see, I remember watching you guys debuting at the 2300 Arena, which obviously for Little Guido, you couldn't pick a better place to revamp the FBI than in 2300 Arena, old ECW Arena against the Rascals. Like,
exactly.
That's pretty cool. I mean, and unfortunately, because we're right outside of Philadelphia, it's where we're from, me and my co-host, and we go there as much as we can. We try and get to as many shows as we can. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it. And then when we saw that, it's like, oh my God, like it's just one of those things that you miss out. Like, and that's why even when WWE ran 2300 Arena and they did NXT 2300, it was like, man, that ticket. It went so quick. We tried to get tickets. I'm telling you, it was like 2 minutes. It was in our cart and then they were gone. So like that arena here in Philadelphia is huge. And to bring back the FBI and you be a part of it, that must have been really cool to come out in that arena. Was that your first time at 2300 Arena?
It was super cool. It was not my first time there, but it was my first time doing something major like that. I worked there with Johnny Rods a couple times years back. And then I was there with MLW again years back. But that was the first time, doing something big like that. And it was a lot of fun. That NXT show, Guido went back for that too. Mm-hmm. And he, again, just had a ton of fun there. I was trying to get back there for that show, but I couldn't. I was out of town. But that for him was a lot of fun because he's been going there for 30 years. You know what I mean? Like in that arena doing that thing. Just so much fun. It really is.
So I also wanted to touch on the perception of fans when you're introduced. For those fans who are smarter than just a regular wrestling fan, not smarter, but more in tune to who you are and where you came from. Obviously, making an appearance on the Jersey Shore and being on a reality show, how that affects you as far as in the locker room and any, I don't want to say bad treatment, but just the way you're perceived, I guess, in the locker room. And then, of course, the fans, I guess, if you're a heel, it might be, obviously, you're the reality, Zack Clayton. But so, coming from that, but how does that affect you in the locker room? And then, of course, with the fans?
So I think there's positives and negatives. To my face, nobody's going to say anything, right?
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But unless it's a fan over the rail or whatever, that's cool. And that I encourage. Do that all day. I love that. But no one backstage or in talent relations or anything, at least to my face, is going to say anything related to like if they're a fan or not. They're not probably going to tell me that. Mm-hmm. But if they are, I get the vibe, right? If they are a fan, it's like, oh, cool, Zach's here. That's awesome. If they're not a fan, it's like, oh, why the hell is Zach here? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I can tell right away. And also, I know who knew me before from wrestling and who didn't. Like, I can tell those things right away.
Yeah.
But just like anything else, if I was coming from Hollywood or anywhere else, right? There's drawbacks as just as much as positives, So it really depends who you're in front of, where you're at, and everything. But it's a politic world anyway. So if it's not one thing that's going to make or break you, or it could be, you never know. So that's the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I also do you have, I don't know how much spare time you get to actually hang out at home. Do you watch current product? Do you keep up and see the friends that you have in AEW or across wrestling period? Do you sit and you are able to watch a lot of main TV wrestling?
Yeah, I do. If I can catch wrestling, I'm going to watch wrestling. Mm-hmm. I'll text my friends. I'll congratulate my friends. Someone I've been congratulating a lot recently is Cody Rhodes. He's obviously the king of the mountain right now, and couldn't be happier for him. He's known him for a few years, and I've seen just where he came from, and to see that personally, it's like, and just the things that we've discussed in the past, to see him what he's doing now, it's phenomenal. So yeah, I definitely keep up. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, business right now is just booming. Everywhere you go, wrestling is again at the top of people's mind and conversation, where there was a time where it wasn't. And it might not have been so cool at one time to be a wrestling fan. Everyone knows that, right?
Yeah.
And I think now it's cool again. I mean, you see wrestling everywhere now. It's touching all avenues of life again, like it once did, but this time it's like skyrocketing even further than before. So I do keep up. I think the stories that are being told right now, especially in WWE, are just crushing it. Like I said, we're working on some things in TNA that hopefully soon people are going to get to see, which we're excited about too. So just to be a part of it and being in the game is what this is all about.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, I think, as fans, there's so much. I mean, we say it all the time on our show. We are spoiled as a wrestling fan to have this stuff at your fingertips. I mean, and our wives can say it, like, there's wrestling every single night if we really want to. Like, and me and my co-host both have small little girls, so like it's hard to get that life and then be like, hey, I get to watch an hour or two of wrestling every single night. Like, that just doesn't fly. But like, it's just to have that is amazing.
It is amazing, and then to have it on demand, on streaming, on YouTube, on your phone, on anything at any time is even better, right? But that, I just had that conversation with my fiance the other day, because she said, because now it's football season too.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I was home for like, it was 4 days back to back. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and every night there was something I could watch for hours. And she was like, again, it was like more football, more wrestling. I'm like, what am I gonna do? This is what I do. What else do you want me to do? I'm relaxing, I'm hanging out, I'm watching wrestling or football or something. Like, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. It gets, I mean, I can see it from their point of view. But I mean, what else am I going to watch? I mean, I'm going to watch the 27th season of Law and Order SVU.
Exactly. That's my fiance's favorite show, though. So I gotta.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
I gotta.
My wife is the same way. We watched every season. We still watch with the live episodes and all. But yeah, I mean, with wrestling on as much as it is, it's great. Like it's there's so many options and so many different styles. Like you said, I mean, when you're looking at a week and you're looking at Monday Night Raw, NXT, Dynamite, Impact, or TNA, and SmackDown, like, and then you got pay-per-views on a Saturday for WWE, and AEW does Sundays, and of course, TNA does the weekends as well. Like, there could be a stretch of 2 to 3 weeks where you're going 21 days of straight wrestling.
I think that is, like, especially during WrestleMania, because that's when everyone stacks everything. Yeah. I mean, I think that is right. I mean, you could pretty much go every day and there's something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, great for us, not so much for the significant others. So.
Yeah. No, but it's awesome. It's like having, because if you're a fan of that, right? If you're a fan of a show that's on right now, instead of only getting that once a week in one form, or now you can, like, to your point, you could watch it 4 times a week, and it's in different formats, and it's in any form, YouTube, streaming, anything that you want, and then you can go back to it. It's nuts if you're a true wrestling fan.
Yeah, so I did want to touch on, because I've seen this, and I've seen a lot of your social media posts, your Instagram and stuff. You've been doing a lot with health and working on yourself and stuff like that. And you started Prestige Health System, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and how did it? Obviously, you're a professional wrestler. You're in great shape. You know what I mean? It obviously is a supplement to your career. And how does that help you out?
Yeah, man. So really how it started, I used to run gyms in upstate New York before I moved out of there. I had a performance gym, and I was working with athletes. I was working with the the soccer mom, the average Joe, just to get in shape. And that's something that I loved. I love coaching. I love training. I'm a gym rat. I could hang out in a gym all day. And when I left that, I did miss it because, and I kept in touch with some of the clients I had. But so I did miss it, and then got into this new life, right? Where it'd be a little bit more challenging to open a gym, but it's something that I've always still had that I wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, now I'm getting a lot of people, hey, just tips. Could you help me with like nutrition? Could you help me with workouts? Not asking to be coached, but they're just like, hey, could I have some tips?
Yeah.
So that evolved enough to where I'm like, all right, maybe there's demand for this. And then I gave it a little longer, and it kept growing, and it kept going and going. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to make something out of it. I'm not going to open a gym right now, but, and do that whole thing, even though I would love to, maybe someday. But I can bring it to people now digitally, right? I'm going to put it on, make a website. It'll soon be an app. And I'm going to bring it to people with a higher reach now than I had before. Now I can bring it anywhere. Instead of just being in my gym, now I have literally people all over the world on the site right now, Prestige Health Systems. So I have it everywhere. And it's like, I didn't have that reach before. So now I could actually help more people than I could last time by just having one location. Now you can take it with you, just like wrestling. If you want it on your phone, here it is. And no matter where you're at, what you're doing, I have programs for any need, any body, for any goal. Nutrition, accountability, obviously the gym, but none of that stuff matters if you don't actually follow through and do it. So that's where I have limited spots, but personal coaching available too, just so I can, you'll message me through the app and we'll work together just to keep you on track. And it's been really good. It's been fun because that part of me, the coaching part of me, is always going to be there, especially with the athletes. I love helping people get better and strive to reach a goal and accomplish something that they're trying to do. It's definitely fulfilling. It's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, I think obviously and this time of year, with New Year's resolutions and everyone trying to, January 1st, all right, this is the time to get up. So, I would assume this would be a perfect time for you for this time of year, because then you have all those people who want to get better, want to get fit and try and do that as long as they stay on it. New Year's resolutions, with 90% of them, no one follows through, but at least it's a start.
No, exactly. And that was the thing, like my gym before, it was semi-private. So it was like, you had to be a member to be there. You couldn't just pay $10 a month and come and go as you please. Like everything was accounted for. So I wanted that same kind of thing here. Like if you're committing to this, you're committing to a system, a schedule, a plan. You're not just going to use it whenever you feel like it, right? So that's what I was kind of adopting the system with Prestige Health. It's been working really good. And to your point, yeah, we'll see if people want to come on and really change their life starting January 1st. But it always ends up being the same people who are in the game anyway.
Yeah.
You got a million people that sign up, and at the end of it, it's it's the same people that were in the gym anyway that follow through.
Yeah.
So maybe you get a few of them, but hopefully you get more. Yeah, man, it's been great. I'm excited to have that venture as well. Because it's something that's important to me.
That's great. And not only that, like keeping busy and stuff like that, like it's a full-time job to have your career the way you do, and then having that side business that you're still passionate about, because obviously professional wrestling you have a passion for, to have something else, another avenue to maybe, if something in wrestling's not going your way or something like that, and you kind of get bogged down mentally with that, at least you have this other passion to where you can take your mind off that, and still keep sane. And the next
you're 100% right, man. Because for me personally, I'm a guy, I don't like to not, even if I say I'm not doing much, like I don't like to not do much. I like to always be busy, and then I'd rather be way too busy to like not do anything. Like I need to always be working on something, whether that's small or big or and I don't mind because I'm not a guy that's like that says, oh, I'm too busy for that right now. Like I'll make it work if it's worth working.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll find a way to do it. So that's just always how I've been, which is sometimes, you know, some people say it's stressful or whatever, but it's not for me. I like to have my hand in a lot of things. I like to be involved because, dude, boredom is where bad things happen. You know, nothing good comes from being bored. So,
Yeah.
and just sitting around and wishing and dude, let's just do something. So that's always been my mindset.
Yeah, it's a good mindset to have. I mean, idle hands, you know what I mean? You just it's not good.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You can't get into trouble if you're not bored, right?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I did want to touch on January 4th, Poughkeepsie Rumble, ACW. On our show, we've been talking about it for weeks now. We are close friends with Vic Delicious, Hale Collins, the Now, and we have been hyping this show up. We can't wait. We got a hotel room. We'll be up there. This card has been like, and it's not a disrespect to the Now, but it's surprising for a first show in such a big arena, and they so far that card has not disappointed. Obviously saw you guys with Little Guido, Ray Jazz, and yourself, the FBI being booked. What is it? Have you wrestled in the Mid Hudson? Well, not Mid Hudson. Sorry, it's hard to break. The MJN Convention Center. Have you ever wrestled there and been in that arena?
I have not.
Okay.
I've also never worked for the company, but I'm excited to, especially because we got the FBI. I heard it's a great venue. I've wrestled in the area before, for sure, Poughkeepsie, because I'm from Albany, New York. So, you know, I kind of got the indie start in the area with Johnny Rods. So I wrestled in the area, but not there. But I'm looking forward to it. The card is stacked, man. It's a really big show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked to the Now probably 2 weeks ago or a little less, and just some of the stuff that they went into talking about, like going from just wrestlers to the other side of the curtain and seeing what promoters go through and going through those daily battles of booking a show and talking to the talent and stuff like that to put a event like this together is pretty impressive. And to get some of the names like Nick Nemeth and Tom Latimer and Riddle and Real One, you know what I mean? And these guys that have legit names that wrestle for the bigger companies to be on this show. I mean, I'm hoping that this MJN Center is packed out for them and not only that, it could be a success because, like they said, that area is kind of starving for pro wrestling.
No, for sure. And it's, you know, I hope to have a good relationship with these guys. We do already, but I don't really know them yet. I'd like to get to know them and establish a good relationship. We'll come back and do some good things together. But what was that you mentioned in the beginning there? What are they doing with like the behind the scenes stuff?
So just because obviously they've been a tag team, I think since 2007 wrestling, and just going through day-to-day stuff, they were talking about just seeing how like every little decision that goes into an event like this, whether it's what it's going to look like when you walk in, from the sheer aesthetics of the arena and what you're seeing and stuff like that, like the little intricacies of putting an event like this together, I mean, is amazing. And obviously we don't know many promoters. We've talked to a couple different ones, but these guys, as close as we are with them, to hear the different things. And then of course, talent relations, going through and having to book people and having people, you know what I mean, name their price. And if you can meet that price, if they're trying to get over on you, stuff like that, it is just, it's amazing.
Where did they put that?
What do you mean?
Like, is that like a documentary or something that they filmed, or?
No. We had them on our show.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I want to say last week. We had them last Monday or Tuesday. We talked and we were talking about everything.
Yeah. I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they've been in the business for a while. So they also were a part of, I don't know if you've ever heard of House of Hardcore for Tommy Dreamer's indie.
Yeah.
So they had their hands in helping him get that off the ground and were a tag team for him and booked for him. So like they kind of had an idea, but now to venture into their own company and do that, with ACW is just it's amazing to see the transformation that this has gone through in the little baby steps that it has taken, and now 2 weeks away, or a little bit more than 2 weeks away, I can't wait to see it all come to fruition and see, and not only that, see some of these stars that I've seen, some of these wrestlers that wrestle in North and Central Jersey all being booked, and of course the bigger names and someone like you and Guido and Ray Jazz and stuff like that. It's going to be a really cool event.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're excited for it, for sure. And could I ask you a question though? But I'm looking at your memorabilia behind you. Is that all? Do you have anything signed or anything, or you just collect all that, or is that...
So wait, this way. So this Shawn Michaels is signed. That's signed by Michaels. I have a Lou Albano picture signed. King Kong Bundy also behind me signed. Let's see what else. So that is ISPW, which is another Jersey-based wrestling promotion signed, and then there's next to that's a Black Wrestlers Matter that we sponsored. That the whole thing signed. The head that's up in the corner behind me.
Yeah.
The mannequin head is from Al Snow, and he signed it Al Snow
That's
on
fun.
one cheek and head on the other cheek. So that's signed as well. But yeah, I mean, just some stuff I've collected. Like I have like a Polaroid of me, Mick Foley, and Terry Funk from when I was like, I don't know, 8 or 10 years old. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff, I mean, it's personal stuff and stuff like that. But yeah.
That's something you couldn't get over today. The head.
Yeah, no, no. Just the phrase, "What does everybody want?" and everyone yells "head." That's not going to fly on WWE TV. No way.
I don't think you can make that fly anywhere today.
No, absolutely.
It was
not.
good while it lasted, right?
Yeah, yeah. My buddy bought so we're big into wrestling T-shirts, like a lot of wrestling fans are, and my buddy bought a old Val Venus shirt, and it's. Oh my God, I don't want to butcher it because I can't remember what it was, but to say like the text is white, it looks like white drippy liquid, and I believe it's like cocked, lock, and ready to blow is the shirt, and I was like, what, like, how did you like? These were at WWE shirts. Like these were at events, and you were giving these to 15-year-old kids. Like
the Attitude Era, man.
Man, it's ridiculous. You look back at some of those shirts and stuff, like it's pretty nasty. You can't. No way you could do that now. No way.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because you know what? It's like we went to school telling everyone to suck it, right?
Yes.
That was our thing. But look what these kids are saying now, man. Go back to saying suck it. All this trash you guys are talking now is absolutely insane. And you were mad at us for saying suck it? You got to be kidding me.
I love the shit that the Acclaimed, that people are bitching about the Acclaimed and the scissoring. Like that, I mean, look, I get it. I get where that comes from, especially in the day and age that we are in. But it's definitely, I mean, it's just as bad as Suck It was. I mean, and not only that, they're going like this. We were going like this. Like, we were pointing to the location. Like, it's a little different.
Yeah. They're all, you got 8-year-olds singing, you know, Kendrick Lamar now. It's totally just not even the same world anymore. You know, it's not even, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, look, when I was 10 or 12, I was listening to Tupac and Biggie and all that, and you listen to a song like "Hit 'Em Up" by Tupac, like there's no business a 10-year-old should be listening to Tupac "Hit 'Em Up." So like, I mean, everything circles around, and but this has gotten a lot different than when I was younger. So I don't know.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I do want to, before we wrap up, what your future looks like, or what you're envisioning your future to look like, what your goals are. Where is there just whatever company, you know what I mean, will have you? Do you have a certain goal company that you may be looking at?
Yeah, man. So I still have no official contract anywhere. So I'm still free agent. Right now, working with TNA is great. I mean, like I said, we have some plans. We'll see where that goes. My goal will remain the same as it always has. go as far as I can go, as high as I can go, for as long as I can go, you know. And whether that is 50 years old, 60 years old, then that's what I'll do. But as long as that's within a major company, that's the goal.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
we've talked to a lot of people. I mean, and just seeing what people want and how people perceive, you know what I mean? We've had people say, I only want to go here. This is the goal. This is the end goal. To where we've had people, like you just said, just, I want to be successful. I want to be able to do this full time, and you know what I mean? This be it. But whoever's willing to pay me, and I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to, you know what I mean, be able to work the way I want to work, then it is whoever it is. So, I mean, it is, I mean, that, I think having one goal is not bad, but I mean, if you open your horizons a little bit and not singular, you know what I mean? It may be a little easier for you.
No, I mean, I used to be like that, but then at the end of the day, it goes like this, you know. You have, because I'm big on this, and I always have been. This is always how I live my life. Even if you go to someone who's like, "Hey, I need to lose 50 pounds," it's like, cool, and they're like, "Well, I want it done in 2 months." Impossible. So how about we lose your 50 pounds in the time that it's supposed to take? It doesn't matter, because the goal will be accomplished, right? You know, whether it's 12 months, whether it's 26 months, the goal will be done. So that's your goal. It's not the time frame, because, you know, you do that, you have no control over that part.
Yeah.
You have control over the end result. So it's like, if I said, you know, in a year, you know, I need to be in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania, WWE champion, probably not, you know? So then what happens? It's like, oh, now I hate myself, right? Because that's how people work. It's very one-dimensional. So as long as the goal stays the goal, and the process is the process, which should really be the goal, that's the goal, and that's it. So you're still doing the thing. You just don't have to put a time frame or a stamp on it. It's like this or nothing, because this or nothing means when you get there, you're not really going to be happy once you get there anyway, because you were chasing something that, one, wasn't in your control, which was out. So that means it's outside of your control, obviously. So when you get there, because it was already outside of your control, you're chasing something that never really existed anyway, that you couldn't tangibly put your hands on and make happen. So the second you lose it, you're going to go right back to where you were, which was zero anyway. So it's like, you just have to have a target, an endpoint. And then once you get there, you can move the goalpost, but you have to get there first.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So anything else? Obviously, we touched on Prestige. Is anything else you want to promote? You obviously your socials, where people can find you and all that?
Yeah, man, you can find me at Zack Clayton on all socials. Are you going to be at the ACW show? You said you are, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's try to meet up there.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll definitely be there. I'll definitely meet up with you. That'd be great. And,
well, I think we're doing I think there's a signing before.
Yes.
That, I'm going to be doing with the FBI, so that'll be good.
Okay. Yeah. Then my co-host obviously couldn't get off for today, but he will be there as well. But I mean, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being on our show. We hope to, obviously we will see you January 4th, and best of luck going forward with everything. We can't wait to see you thrive and hopefully nail down that contract.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. We'll see you January 4th, and we'll do this again soon.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be talking to you very soon.